This is Democracy Now!, democracynow.org. We are breaking with convention, and this is the Quarantine Report. I'm Amy Goodman. We turn now to Honduras, where preliminary hearings are set to begin today for one of the men accused of murdering the indigenous environmental activist Berta Cáceres, who was shot dead in her home in Honduras by hired hitmen in 2016. A judge will decide whether the case against one of the alleged killers, David Castillo, gets sent to trial. At least 212 land and environmental defenders were murdered last year. That's the highest number since the group Global Witness began gathering data 8 years ago, looking at the world. Around 40% of those killed were indigenous people. Colombia was the deadliest country, with 64 land and environmental defenders killed. Honduras was also high on the list. The Berta Cáceres hearing comes as Afro-Indigenous Garífuna community in Honduras demands the safe return of 5 Garifuna land defenders who were kidnapped last month in the Caribbean coastal town of Triunfo de la Cruz. Witnesses say the abductors wore police uniforms and forced them into 3 unmarked vehicles at gunpoint. Among those abducted was 27-year-old Albert Snyder Centeno, president of the Triunfo de la Cruz Community Board, a member of the group Black Fraternal Organization of Honduras. This is Centeno in a recent video testimony prior to his forced disappearance.
We have witnessed how the Garfuna people are being killed, how we're being criminalized for being the rightful owners of this rich territory.
And this is Garifuna leader Miranda, the executive director of the Black Fraternal Organization of Honduras, speaking to Democracy Now! From her home in Honduras in July.
What happened is a reflection of systemic persecution, systemic repression, but also a well-crafted plan by the Honduran state to exterminate the Garifuna community. It's important to understand that this pressure, this repression, and everything we are facing is because we are a community in constant fight for ancestral rights.
That was Garifuna leader Miranda. This is just the latest attack against the Garifuna community in Honduras as they defend their territory from destructive projects fueled by foreign investors and the government. Honduras became one of the most dangerous countries in the world for Black and indigenous land and water defenders after the 2009 U.S.-backed coup there. For more, we're joined by Carla Garcia, International Relations Coordinator with the Black Fraternal Organization of Honduras. Welcome to Democracy Now!, Carla. It's great to have you with us. Explain the horror of what has taken place. To explain who these 5 Black indigenous environmental leaders are.
Good morning, and thank you very much for leave the voice of Ofrade be in Democracy Now! Right now, as a Garifuna community, we are experimenting the worst days in the life of the community since 20 years to now. We are in danger daily. All the leaders of the Garifuna community, all the defendants of the land in Honduras, doesn't matter if they are Garifunas, if they are indigenous, everybody's in danger to die, to be killed, to be kidnapped. And we are for us, the real responsible of this is the government of Honduras. And to give a little context of what is happening in Triunfo de la Cruz, Albert Snyder Centeno is the most young leader being achieved in one of our communities. And nobody believed that this young man was able to do what he do, push the government and claim for the comply of the sentence of the International Human Rights Court, who, the International Court is, Honduras needs to obey the International Court rules and give back the land to the Triunfo de la Cruz, and they are trying to don't do that. And that's why they kidnapped Albert Snyder Centeno to make the community walk back or make a step back. But we are not doing that because it's enough. It's too much people dying, too much people in danger, and our next generation needs the land to continue living.
You know, I wanted to turn to another clip of Garifuna leader Mary Miranda speaking to Democracy Now! From her home in Honduras last month.
What we feel as an organization is that something similar to the Berta Cáceres case is going to repeat itself, where the government is going to parade a group of people or say, this person was the one who committed the crime, or this person was the one who did it. But the intellectual authors will remain with impunity. And this is one of the reasons why I feel like it is important to tell you. I have not told anyone, and I am going to speak with you honestly. Today, more than ever, my life is in danger.
So, Carla Garcia, can you tell us what you know of the people who abducted these 5 indigenous leaders?
So what is the situation? They arrived on June 18, dressing official police clothes, and they went inside of every house, and they asked for those guys, those kids, and they removed them from the police, from their houses, from the community, and they disappear. So if this happening with 5 indigenous or Garifuna men inside of the community, what cannot happen with the people who is in the front line, as happened with our hermana Berta Cáceres? They are going inside to the houses and they are killing everybody with impunity. So that's why Miriam is saying, today, more than ever, my life is in danger, because a month before this kidnapping, one of our Garifuna members who came to the international court also for the case of Punta Piedra, he disappeared. He was kidnapped. And 6 days later, we found him in a river, died, killed.
Can you talk about the years of violence that this Black indigenous community, the Garifuna, have faced in Honduras? And talk about the president, Juan Orlando Hernandez. He is trying to smear the group that were disappeared, saying they're involved in drug trafficking. Who we know is involved in drug trafficking is Joe, that's J-O-H, Juan Orlando Hernandez's brother, and he has been implicated. The president himself as well, who was supported by the Democrats as well as by President Trump.
So it's very important to understand that right now, Garifuna community is facing the worst part of the violence that we are suffering. But this is, it came escalating year by year. And just 2019, we cry for the death of 19 of our leaders in the different Garifuna communities. And all the response from the government is, if it's a woman, it's a passionate crime. If it's a man, he is involved in narco trafficking, or maybe he is part of the gangs or maras. So this is a recurrent situation, and we are telling to the world. Let me tell you something. I became U.S. citizen, and my heart is in 2 parts, because I have my heart in Honduras and I have my heart in the United States. I love both countries. But since 2019, Honduras is living in the hell, and U.S., the government of U.S. is saying nothing about that. Everybody knows about the brother of the president, the actual president. He's here in jail. The name of the president of Honduras is involved in bad activities, in narco traffic activities. Why nobody is doing nothing? We are fighting against the beast right now. And I know that U.S. has the best people in the world, as Honduras too. So I claim for help. I claim to open their eyes. Open your eyes. All the people who is dying there have the same blood that you have here.
Minnesota Congressmember Ilhan Omar, who just won her primary, and several other Congress members are denouncing plans by the Trump administration to invest $1 billion over the next 3 years in a hydropower project in Honduras, plagued by accusations of corruption and human rights violations. And this goes to President Trump's support for the president right now, who is attacking the 5 Garifuna leaders who have been abducted. Carla Garcia, can you talk about the connections you see?
The land that we preserve is rich. It's rich. And it's the same thing that the land that the indigenous communities in Honduras or across America, because if you see what is happening to the Garifuna community, it's happening across the America to all the indigenous and Black communities. Why? Because we live in common union with the Mother Nature. We take care of the Mother Nature. We don't take away from the Mother Nature what we don't need. So now everybody needs our rivers. Everybody needs our land, our sea, everything that we have to live is supposed to go to other people. I want you to pay close attention to the letter that the congressman sent, because U.S. is facing the immigration situation. Why you think the people is migrating from Honduras in this scale? Why the Garifuna community is coming in caravans to United States? Because the government of Honduras is taking away everything that they have and all the opportunities for the next generation. If the money go to from United States to Honduras to invest and continue taking away what the community needs to continue living, people will continue coming to United States. So this is a problem that we need to cut from the root. If not, our people will come to this country to suffer, to wait, to be treated as a criminal, as they are being treated in their own country.
Carla Garcia, we want to thank you so much for being with us. Of course, we will continue to follow this very grave issue in Honduras. Carla Garcia is International Relations Coordinator at the Black Fraternal Organization of Honduras.